who is named Muslim. Muhammad, he got it from the Christians, the Antichrist. The story of the seven sleepers, Muhammad, he got it from the Christians. This is a fiction story. The seven sleepers, you can search it in the internet. The seven sleepers is very famous story written by a Christian bishop from Syria. It's just to encourage the Christians who they are under discrimination that don't worry, we will be victorious. It's a fiction story. Muhammad, he copied the story, he put it in the Quran, and he claimed that Allah is the one is speaking about those youth Christians. So Muhammad, because he's a false prophet, he copied whatever coming his way. It doesn't matter what is in the way. Muhammad, he chose it. The story of Sulaiman, the story of Luqman, the story of Moses going in the fountain of youth, the story of Al-Khidr who drank from the fountain of youth and he will never die. This is why he always green. Actually, Al-Khidr mean Mr. Green. Why he is Mr. Green? Because he drank from the fountain of youth. When Muhammad did get those stories, all of them, they are copy. If you go and read the story of the seven sleepers, you will see how much similar, except that Muhammad and the Muslims, they thought the word kali'ahum is kalbahum. So the Quran says, and they have a dog with them. The fact it says kali'ahum, not kalbahum. Even in many Islamic interpretation, they say it is not kalbahum, but there is an error in the scribe, which means when they wrote the Quran, instead of writing kali'ahum as it is in the Christian story, they said kalbahum, because all of us, we knew that in Islam the dog is dirty. So what Allah saying, that a dog with those Christians? It was an angel who is called kali'ahum, which means their provider. If you go, just to give you more examples of Muhammad copying from the Jews and copying from fairy tales around him, not necessarily just the Jews, everybody. Let us see. Look at this story. Look at this story and the madness and the stupidity of this false prophet. Muhammad, remember, he claimed to be a prophet. How a prophet of God he would say such a thing? This is a strong hadith. This is not a shish kebab week. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 3400, and I can find you the same stories in many books. You will see here is speaking about a guy, his name is Al-Khidr, who drank from the fountain of youth, and this man who Allah sent Moses to him to learn from him wisdom. And you will see right away how the name of Moses appear in the story. Moses thought that he is the most person who knows about what? About the teaching of Allah. A person asked him, are you the most knowledgeable? He said yes. Allah said to Moses, no, you are not the most learned. You are not. Moses, he said, who is more knowledgeable than me? He said, our slave, the Khidr, is more learned than you. Moses, he said, how I can meet him? And then the story continue, and you will see a very funny, stupid story about Moses. Allah told him to take a fish with him, as the Quran story says. And when you lose the fish, because the fish will come back to life. Why the fish will come back to life? Because the fish will drink from the fountain of youth and come back to life. Because this is the fountain. Whoever drank from it, he come back to life. You see the story? And then Musa's, the fish escape and run in the water, and the fish, when it goes in the water, it make the water like a rock. So they can trace and walk in the top of the water. Imagine Musa's is walking in the top of the water. And then when they arrive in the middle of the ocean, they found a guy, his name is Al-Khadr. He is in the middle of the ocean, just staying there. You see, it says they follow the traces of the fish in the ocean. Have you ever heard of somebody following a trace of a fish in the ocean? How in the world we can follow a trace of a fish in the ocean? Why? Because the ocean turned like a rock, solid rock, wherever the fish go. So they just walk. They did not even take a boat. They were walking in the ocean. All those stories Muhammad is copying from people around him, mixed with the legend of the Jews. The story of Al-Khadr is a story the Jews they learned when they were captured in Iraq by the Assyrian. In Iraq and in the Persia, there is a very well-known story about a guy, his name Gilgamesh, and about a guy who his name is Al-Khadr, who searched for, searching for life and fountain of life. And this story exists in many cultures. Actually, the movie, which is exists today, the Caribbean, the part of the Caribbean, you will see there they are speaking about the fountain of youth. This is how much this story spread all over. The same as the flying horse of Suleiman. If you remember, when Muhammad he entered upon Aisha and he said to her, what is that? She was playing with dolls. He said to her, what is that? And he saw between the dolls, he saw a horse have two wings. Muhammad he said to Aisha, when she was playing with her dolls, the prophet who married a child, he moved the curtain and he said, what is this? She said, she did not say actually my doll, she said banati, which means my daughter. Among them he saw a horse with wings made of rags. This is what Muhammad started teaching the Muslims. Look what this happened here. Aisha is a child. Aisha is a child. And Muhammad, Aisha here is, by the way, she is at the age of 14, not exactly like a little baby as before when he married her. So now she is getting into the youth age. She's 14. And ask, what is this I see among them? She replied, a horse. He said, what is that? It has on it. She replied, two wings. Muhammad, he said, and here, read carefully with me what happened here. This is extremely important. He said to her, what is that? What is that in there? Like, okay, it's a horse. She said, yes, horse. What is that? She said, a horse with wings. He said, a horse with two wings? Muhammad himself, he is wondering what? She replied, haven't you heard that Solomon had a horses with wings? And Muhammad, in the moment, he laughed until his teeth came out. He found it funny and stupid, but later Muhammad he adopted the story. And he told the story. And this is where he learned the story from a child. The child Aisha, she learned from the Jews that Suleiman, he have, obviously she play with the Jewish children. That Suleiman, he have a flying horse, have wings. He copied the story. He told the story. He spread the story. That's what Islam is about. One more thing before we finish this video, so you can download it. Muhammad was praying in a funeral. Read carefully with me. The Messenger of Allah used to pray, stand up in a funeral until the corpse is buried. I learned Jews, what happened here? I learned Jews, which mean a rabbi, once passed by him and said, this is how we do it. The Prophet sat down and said, act differently from them. And this is a very clear proof that Muhammad is a false prophet. If the prayer of Islam is coming from Allah, why in the world Muhammad he will change it in a second just because a Jew he said to him, this is how we do it. If I am a prophet of God and now I'm teaching you how to pray, where Muhammad is getting how to pray? Supposedly the Muslims they say that Jibreel he taught him. Okay, so Jibreel taught him that he should stand in the prayer when he pray in the funeral. A Jewish is walking by and he just said this is how we do it. So what the problem with Muhammad? Why he is asking the Muslims, ordering them to act differently, and he sat down immediately? Read carefully here. The Messenger of Allah used to stand up during the funeral prayer. Used, which means all the time, for a long time. He never changed it. Enter a Jewish guy, he said to him, this is how we do it. How you are claiming that you are a person, everything you do is coming from Allah, even the prayer is inspiration from Allah. How to put your hand is everything the Muslim do is supposedly is Allah taught Muhammad through the angel Jibreel how to do it, and now you are changing the prayer for the sake of a Jew saying this is how we do it. So yes, we agree that Muhammad is a person as a fraud. He copy from others. Nothing of Islam is his own. The Kaaba is the Arab pagan, his parents. They kiss the black stone before him. They go between As-Safa and Al-Marwa. Muhammad he said when his followers they thought he is going to demolish As-Safa and Al-Marwa, he said to them, no, As-Safa and Al-Marwa is from the ritual of Allah. Why the Safa and Marwa from the ritual of Allah? How is that? This is the ritual of the pagans. Muhammad he have to make a verse about it to be sure that the Muslims they will follow the tradition of the Arab pagans, as we see in chapter 2 verse 158. If you read the interpretation, you will see that they say to him, why we hate to do a Safa and Marwa. They don't want to do it, but Muhammad forced them to do it, because the whole point he want to say to the Arab, I am not against you as a pagan. Here we go. You like the Kaaba, I like the Kaaba. You kiss the black stone, I kiss the black stone. You go to As-Safa and Marwa, I go to the Safa and Marwa. And not only that, you know what? I am going to make it as a part of the ritual of Allah. But this was the shrine of the pagans. The same as the Kaaba was the shrine of the pagans. The same as the black stone was the black stone of the pagans. Islam is nothing, my friend, except a copy. Even the word Islam is coming from the guy who his name is Muslim, who the Muslim call him Musaylama to make fun of him. The word Ar-Rahman, Muhammad he copied from that guy. This guy he claimed to be Rahman, and his God is Rahman. He is Ar-Rahman and his God is Rahman. Muhammad he never said the word Rahman until he received a letter from this guy saying in the name of Ar-Rahman. So Muhammad right away he liked the name and he added to his book, to his Quran. And then he said, when the Arab they said to him, who's a Rahman? Who's a Rahman? He never mentioned the word Rahman before. Never. What happened today? So the Arab they said to him, so Muhammad, do you have a new God? We thought you worship Allah, and now you are saying a Rahman. Who is a Rahman? Is that Rahman al-Yamama? Even they mentioned to him that this is the Rahman of al-Yamama. The only Rahman we know is the guy who his name is Musaylama. The Muslim they call him Musaylama Muslim, and he is Rahman al-Yamama. So look what Muhammad he said to them as an answer in the Quran, chapter 17 verse 110. He said, say, call upon Allah, which means I name him Allah, or I call him Ar-Rahman, by whatever name you call upon him, it doesn't matter. All the beautiful names belong to Allah. He liked the name. But this is a problem here, because this is the chapter is almost more the half of the Quran Muhammad received already. So Muhammad received half of the Quran, and yet he never mentioned the word Rahman. So why the Muslims they have from the beginning of the Quran in every chapter Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? That means this is something added later, because as you see, this is the first time Muhammad calling ar-Rahman after he named, or he received, sorry, a letter from this guy who is named Muslim. He copied it, he liked it, he added, and he said, look, all the good names are belong to Allah. This is not the name of his God, but he liked it. All good names. Why he is saying this? Why Muhammad is saying this? Because the Arab, they said to him, but this is the name of the God of that guy. Do you worship his God now? And Muhammad is an enemy to him. Their competition about who is the prophet. That guy, he claimed up to be a prophet, and Muhammad claimed to be a prophet. And suddenly Muhammad is naming his God as Rahman.
Oleh karena itu, yuk sekarang kita berpikir, jangan takut murtad dong. Daripada kamu mempercayai sesuatu yang tidak benar. Betul nggak? Ya iya, berpikir kritis, berpikir kritis, berpikir kritis.